So last time on Unsealed, we opened up two brand new games. The first one we opened up, just to kind of remind you, was NFL Blitz for the PlayStation. One of my favorite arcade games of all time, although not my all-time favorite. That would be NBA Jam, but it's the same kind of thing. Instead of basketball, this was football. Polygon based players rather than sprites, wrestling moves in addition to football gameplay. Not a lot of rules, a lot of fun to play. If you've never played this before, it is one of the best ways to play football, especially if you're a casual fan. It's not quite as good as the arcade game. The arcade game ran at 60 frames per second. This runs at only 30. You lose some of the player detail as well. This game even runs just a little bit worse than its Nintendo 64 counterpart, but it's still a lot of fun to play. And one of the reasons I like this one over the N64 version is because you get a lot of the full motion video sequences as well, so it feels a lot like the arcade game itself. After that, we opened up NFL Blitz 2000 for the Dreamcast right here. This was the NFL Blitz arcade experience. This is basically NFL Blitz 99 with updated rosters, running at 60 frames per second on a Sega Dreamcast. This is the way to play NFL Blitz if you can. A lot of fun to play, detailed players, detailed stadiums, smooth gameplay. There are some minor nitpicks that I have, such as not being able to change certain button assignments. Like, I like to be able to use the right trigger for turbo, and you can't do that in this game. You have to use left trigger, but whatever. That's just a minor nitpick. This game got a lot of play on my Dreamcast back in 1999 during the launch period from September 9th on. It's a great game, and it still holds up today. It's a lot of fun to play if you can't afford to put the arcade cabinet in your house. Now, one game I didn't open on camera because I wasn't able to get it new, nor was I really interested in getting it, was a title called NFL Blitz 2001. And this kind of it's different. It is NFL Blitz, don't get me wrong. It plays like NFL Blitz, but there's something about it that is more, because it's built for console instead of being built for arcades. There are some features that are added that I really wasn't the biggest fan of. Some of the presentation felt a little bit muddy, a little bit less over the top. So while it's a decently playing game, it doesn't have the same force behind it as Blitz 99 or Blitz 2000. That was developed, I believe, by Point of View. It was outsourced to that development team, and they also developed NFL Blitz Special Edition for the N64. So now we're moving on. We've talked about the Dreamcast, so we are now in the sixth generation of consoles. We're talking about the Dreamcast, the PlayStation 2, the Xbox, and the GameCube. Midway was starting to move away from arcade games, at least a little bit. There were still an arcade presence. We saw this with, for example, the reimagining of Gauntlet, or NBA Showtime was another example, NFL Blitz. But Midway seemed determined to rebuild its arcade franchises or even create new ones for home consoles rather than using arcade games as lead platforms. And this is where our next pair of games comes in. The first one that I'm going to open up on camera here features Charles Woodson on the cover. So yes, we are talking about another NFL game. Behold NFL Blitz 2002, which is the PlayStation 2 version right here. This was published in 2001. So this is in the first full year of the PlayStation 2's existence. Now, this game looks a bit different from its arcade cousins, but at the same time, it feels very much like an arcade game, how it would look in arcades, how it would play in arcades if it was a real thing. Here is a look at the back of the case. Real teams, real players, real attitude. You can see some of the screenshots there. Let me take a look and see what they have listed here. Reinvented for the next generation consoles, the all-new NFL Blitz 2002 is over-the-top, no refs, no rules, no mercy. That's the tagline from the older Blitz titles. Realistic player models and stadiums, that's definite. Lightning quick 8-on-8 Blitz format. Fewer players means more on-field mayhem. Revolutionary impact player system, more than 1,500 new animations, and music tracks from Methods of Mayhem, which you can either take or leave. This was developed on Criterion's renderware middleware platform. So the game flows well, it animates well, it's very colorful, it's got a ton of animations, and it doesn't seem to tax the PS2 all that hard. You don't see, when you're playing this game, you don't see a lot of technical issues, and that's certainly for the better. This game does have its NFL Blitz 2002 security seal on it, so we know that we are opening up a brand new game that has not been opened before. This game is now 17 years old, and we're going to go ahead and open this up on camera. Hopefully, I will do this so you guys can see it. There we go, and you're hiding my face, which is fine because there's not really a lot to see there. So we will slide off just like that. We'll slide off the plastic. Throw the plastic away, and we'll take off the security seal. I do have one more game to show you, by the way. This is the second straight episode with 2 games to open. It's not always going to be the case, but it's always nice to open up a pair because I have quite a few games that have been sitting waiting to be opened up. There we go. Take that off there just like that. And I'm just going to look at the game first and make sure it's not loose. Okay. Interestingly enough, you probably can't tell, but the NFL logo on this particular game is affixed sideways. That's a little bit of a goof. When we open up the game, you will see the instruction manual and the disc. The disc is in red. The instruction manual has Charles Woodson, the menacing Charles Woodson, on the cover, who you can now see on ESPN and their football coverage, especially Monday Night Countdown. Not really sure how I think he does in terms of offering analysis, but I think that he and Randy Moss play off each other pretty well. So, the instruction manual is in black and white. It's not in color. That gives you a sample of what it looks like. There's a tournament mode here, which is kind of neat. There's a season mode. These are carryovers from Blitz and Blitz 2000. One thing about this that I will say that I'm not the biggest fan of is saving the game can be a bit of a pain in the rear end. I don't know why that is. It's a game design decision. It's not the worst thing in the world, and you definitely get used to it, but it's just a pain in the rear end, especially when you're playing through a season mode and you want to save your progress. Also on the back here, you see an ad for NHL Hits 2002, a game that I tried so very hard to get sealed and just could not get it. But I do have a Hits game, and we'll be doing that next time. So yeah, this is NFL Blitz 2002. I like this game a lot. In fact, of the 3 NFL Blitz games released for the PS2, this is my favorite. This one has relatively even difficulty increases. It doesn't hit you upside the head early, and that's certainly important, I think. So as promised, I do have one more game to show you, and that is NFL Blitz 2003 with Charles Strahan, or I'm sorry, Michael Strahan. Charles is his brother maybe. There's Mike Strahan on the front cover. This game, unlike Blitz 2002, is tougher from the get-go. If you played Blitz 2002 and then this back-to-back, you will notice the difficulty spike almost immediately. As we turn the case over, what's football without the Blitz? Again, more Mike Strahan up top there. There's a list of features that I'll get to. That shows you the back there. So let's see. What's football without the Blitz? Sack up and get ready for NFL Blitz 2003, a gridiron firestorm of hard hits, outrageous moves, flying tackles, and things usually left to the imagination. So the features listed here include an 8-on-8 adrenaline-style gameplay, featuring more gridiron for bigger players, bigger plays, and bigger hits. I talked about that with Blitz 2002. You can create a player for the first time. That's something you could not do with Blitz 2002. Play design and on-field audio from Michael Strahan, Byron Chamberlain, Amon Green, John Lynch, who's now the general manager of the San Francisco 49ers, Jameer Miller, Rod Smith, and Troy Vincent, who I believe is the president of player safety or something like that. Fantasy stadiums and amazing locales and incredible fantasy players. So now you're getting different teams, different characters to play as, which is a staple of the Hits series as well. Updated rosters, uniform stadiums, including for the Houston Texans. So this is obviously way before J.J. Watt. Explosive licensed music from music industry superstars Kurashi, They were also in, I believe it was either, oh gosh, I can't remember the names of them now. They were in, well, forget it. I'm not going to go in. They were in a couple of music games as well. Frequency and Amplitude. Those are the two games. DVD special features. See Midway Sports Blitz the Pro Bowl video. So that's one of the cool things about DVD-ROM is that you had space for behind-the-scenes stuff or extra movies or other footage, which I thought was pretty darn neat. This is on a DVD-ROM, by the way, just like Blitz 2002. So let's go ahead and open this up. Just like the last game, you can see here that it does have the security label on it. So we'll go ahead and we will get this open so that we can talk about this game just a bit further. As I mentioned, I'm not that I don't like this game, but this game definitely is less newbie friendly or less casual friendly than Blitz 2002. This game is considerably more difficult, even at the lower difficulty setting. So as we go ahead and try and get this off, there we go, just like that. So take that off. And we take a look, and NFL, yeah, I guess that's right. The NFL logo is also sideways here, too. We'll go ahead and we'll take the security seal off. And while I'm taking the security seal off, thanks very much for watching these videos. I have a lot of fun opening these up, and I'm looking forward to doing more as we roll on. I still have a bunch to get to, but I wanted to do these Blitz ones because I want to play them. So we'll go ahead and we'll take that off of there just like that. Get that off my finger. There we go. And let me open this up just to make sure there's no issue. There is not. So when we open this, this is basically a copycat here. You see the manual with Strahan, and then you see the disc with Strahan on it as well. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the manual really quick, just as we do for all of these games. And it is in black and white, so it's not a color manual, unfortunately. And you're going to see a lot of the same stuff here. Tournament mode, season mode are both here. Arcade mode is here as well. Create a player is different. You get to create your own jersey number, body type, attributes. It's a lot like what we did for NBA Showtime, and even before that, NBA Hang Time. So that is a pretty cool addition, at least in my opinion. There's intermission like stat screens, and there are some hints and tips here. There's different touchdown celebrations based on how you press the right analog stick, which is a kind of neat thing too. This was developed by Point of View Development, by the way. I did not know that. I just checked that out now as I'm reading the back of the case. It's also pretty cool to look here in the back where Midway Amusement Games is credited. Mark Turmel is listed as being on design, and Sal DeVita is listed in art. Plus, we have Rich Carl, Dan Forden, and Rob Martino on audio, so that's pretty cool, I think. On the back of the game, we see NHL Hits 2003, which is a great game in and of itself, and also MLB Slugfest 2003, and I don't have any of those new, but I will have thoughts on Slugfest games when we get to baseball season next year. I already do have some baseball games lined up for this year. So that's a look at the NFL Blitz games. There is one more that I was not able to get brand new, which is called the NFL Blitz Pro. And when this game came out, Midway went back to the drawing board. They got away from the strictly arcade-based experience and try to blur or make a hybrid arcade and simulation game. It didn't work so well for NFL Blitz, honestly. It's okay, but the running game works a heck of a lot better than the passing game does, which without that balance of run and pass for Blitz, it just doesn't feel the same. There is also an NHL Hits version of Pro, and we will get to that one next time. As always, if you've played any of the Blitz games at all, please feel free to leave your comment below. Tell me about it. Tell me about your experience with it. Have you played the Blitz games on the PS2? What do you think of those versus the arcade? Love to hear from you on that, or any other suggestions for games that you may have. Can't guarantee that I'll get to them, but I'll certainly add them to the list. Thanks as always for watching Unsealed. I really do appreciate it. And until the next time, everybody, see you later.